Oh, it's great. Although it started to hiccup against it.
You know, you really sound like you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
I believe we're good.
Yeah. He's a good one to bring.
Yeah.
So yeah, see if I got one.
Yeah. I'll talk to you before we leave.
I don't think so.
She says, well, I'm trying to drown you. She knows. But yeah, she's got this.
You want to be looking for?
I'm looking for the other half of the name tag that I just lost.
It's in your shirt.
I was storing it for
Well,
later.
they can shirts.
We weren't gonna search.
I know, totally.
So yeah, he is a good guy.
Yeah, it was fun meeting with him. He's got a really cool wife.
Who's
His
that?
house is super cool. He's decorating. And it's like all dialed in,
No, we're
beautiful,
just gonna.
current,
Okay, are you running?
solid, like beautiful. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, it's all him. What?
I'm not running.
Okay, we're taking it.
Out the door.
And he painted his house like 5 times in the last 5 years.
Gemini, right.
And all the things, right?
Where's the pull-up banner?
I don't.
Oh, by the way,
It's in that truck. And you want to put it up here in the bed? Go all the way up.
well, that wasn't that the original idea, is to do away with this?
No, I think that whole thing was for the farmers market.
And, okay, so how was the turnout then after we left at the booth? Because I've talked to a couple people at the city, and they're all like, "We don't know what you're talking about. We didn't tell her that." And but she thinks she was. So someone told her, right? Yeah, somebody told her that.
So, okay, during my report, should I call for the election board? We're not, Jim and I talked, because I could say, are there any nominations from the board? When you sign the move to approve the board for 2022-2023.
Yeah.
Do that, or you want me to do that?
No, go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's probably more appropriate. And then, yeah, and then we'll get those done today. Okay, so if there's, okay, we don't need to approve, we don't need to approve committee chairs, just the board.
Let's just,
The director, yeah, so it's not like
because
that.
the committee chair is the president.
Is that Linda? Here she comes. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that during
One of
your.
these days, she's probably gonna ride her Harley.
I know. Oh, darn.
Jim, did you ever get your foundation stuff squared away? You ever got?
No, I didn't. That was the problem. There was one guy.
Oh, you were here?
You guys, I felt bad that didn't get the recognition.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, every year I do it, and how I did it.
Yeah, go ahead, do that, because I'm not in that record yet. By myself.
Not that I would.
Yeah. Right, right. Well, so Dave. Oh, yeah. Same for our first computer was a Dell computer, $1,300. This was in '96. They're at our first house. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But 0% interest, 12 months.
Who's got a Subaru?
It's Lori. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you have a big credit.
Oh, yeah.
Did somebody turn off our chat box?
I don't think so.
I keep thinking about forgetting it to do that. It's not- Especially when we don't get that many people. We got screen time,
Yeah.
screen space.
And then the book doesn't tell you every step to install.
They want you
The
to.
YouTube does.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that can find out.
Yeah. And he has some help from and I bought some research. So I actually put this not cost, but like, well, you guys and it's definitely like it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So like, you know, it looks like I look too close. Yeah.
Okay, we ready to go? 7:30 on the dot? 7:30 on the dot. Okay, where's our, oh, good morning. Bring your own table? Yeah. BYOT? Okay, who we got? Chris Martin.
Hey,
Would you like to lead us in the flag salute today?
absolutely.
It's right over there.
Okay, pledge of allegiance, ready? Yeah. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did I do this part too?
You do.
Okay,
This is the best part.
the four-way test. First.
Is
Is
it
it
true?
true? Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will build goodwill and better friendships.
Fourth.
Be
Beneficial to all concerned.
And fifth is.
Beer, bacon,
Here somewhere.
sunshine.
Yeah.
Beer, I say beer every time, but no one ever notices. It's all good. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any guests here today? Hi, good morning, Carrie. Nice to see you again. This is, now who is this, Lauren?
This is Lori's daughter.
No, not Lori's daughter. Lori's sister. Is that who you brought, Lauren? Is this Lori's sister?
Yeah, it is Lori's sister.
So far.
I don't think it's anybody else. Nobody else could hold up to that.
She probably heard about the dishwasher debacle and got on the next train.
That's not true.
Oh, not true, not true. Yes.
We have Mr. Dave Kraske and the famous Dave Duskin from Arlington Rotary Club. They're here. It's that time of the year. Sing off.
Quack, quack.
Winning tickets to the Duck Dash.
I need to get one of those whistles.
And what is the Duck Dash? You want to, we have some new members. If you want to explain your awesome fundraiser and the cost
I
and
can
how it
give like
goes
a
off.
note. I could give like an okay version of the Duck Dash, but we joke when we say that the Rotary Club of Arlington is really the Rotary Club of Dave's club. So
Oh, the famous Duskin Rotary Club.
That's Dave too. The Quack's back this year, as you can see.
The quack is back. That's
Quack is
good.
back.
That's good.
And DeLorean and everything. First prize, $8,000. We're running our ducks as usual in the river, from one bridge to the other bridge.
Does your river actually move?
Ours really goes, some years it's moving way too fast. And this year with all the rain, it could be one of those years.
We got one that'll slow it down.
Yeah, bring him to Lake Stevens.
Yeah, but we usually have one of the fire departments with their hovercraft or whatever. Ready to go. So we've been doing it.
Your fire department has a hovercraft?
Well, one of the neighbors. Anyway, we've been
Wait till our
doing it
mayor hears about that.
like the 30. This is like our
Come on in, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, you do.
Tickets are $5 a quack or 5 quacks for $20. So that's the best price. Anybody want to buy a ticket?
When is the dash?
It's on the 4th of July every year.
Okay,
So everything's back in Arlington for the 4th. There's a grand parade. There's a pancake breakfast. There's a beer garden. That'll help. Everything's back, which is really great. That's why the quack is back too.
I love that slogan. We may steal that.
Yeah.
Pardon, Larry?
And there's a beer garden.
Let's just go now. We'll wait.
We used to lend our ducks. I think we used to lend our ducks to your club and you had sort of a
You
race
did.
on I think it was on a drainage ditch somewhere.
Let's just say we didn't have a hovercraft on our river at all. Okay, a guest. Oh, this is our speaker today, Marty Pease. We all know her. We love it when she comes to the club to talk about all the international awesome stuff that they're doing for IPA. So that is our speaker. Do we have any other?
I would like to introduce our newest member, Raquel Bender.
Good morning. Thank you, Jim, for scooping our membership chair.
Well, yeah. Amy wasn't here, so Amy's responsive.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Just on the first.
Okay, moving on. So I'm winging it this morning because I forgot my agenda. So if I forget anything, just raise your hand, jump up, start yelling. Okay, President's report. I want to thank everyone that came to the farmers market on Wednesday. It's a, so we have a super solid crew. It was fun. We're working on getting a better spot because our spot has died with the new configuration of the farmers market. So I have contacted several city employees to try and get the market rearranged so everyone flows to our booth. Yeah. I'm working on it. I'll get it.
All about.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Of course. And Arts and Parks Foundation on every alternate Wednesday.
Absolutely.
100%. So I want to thank everyone that came out and helped with the booth. That was super fun. And then to let you know that we do have that booth every other Wednesday. Please sign up. Brian sends out, is Brian here today? There you are, my favorite insurance man. He does send out those emails, so please sign up because it is fun. And then when you're done, just flow up the sidewalk to the Arts and Parks fundraiser of our awesome beer garden and live music every Wednesday, which is, we've done 2 so far. It's super fun. The bands are great. And maybe we'll start getting some sun. We'll make it even 6 o'clock. And then the food trucks up there too. So they've got this new thing called Frito pie.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's camping food because it's like Fritos with some kind of Southwest chili or something on there, and then pulled pork on top, and then cheese, and it's so camping. It's delicious. Okay, so thank you for that. And then I've got a couple other announcements we'll let Brian do for his stuff. We do have our board retreat tomorrow. So tomorrow the board's getting together at Lori's house to go over budget and all the things for next year with our new incoming president, Chris Vallow at the helm. So that's tomorrow. And then, okay, moving on. Let's see, let's move to, and like I said, I'm winging it. I'm using the board meeting agenda today. So past president, okay, president-elect Vallow, anything?
I think not too much of what you just said. So,
I scooped you.
yeah, that's cool.
I know, it's my job.
When we're working together, we got lots of things to do.
Yes, we do.
We'll work in July.
Yes, it will. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you. President nominee.
Nothing new.
What? Working hard.
You okay?
Nothing that I didn't announce last week, or everything, nothing has changed, so.
Do you want to give us a quick 1-second synopsis of what you said last week? So we have so many people here
So
today.
many people here.
Yes, that may not have heard. Do we have any Zoomers?
Kind of the same thing, we're
John.
working on multiple channels to be ready for particularly Parks and Caves. Jim is doing most of the work. Amy is doing a lot of the work.
I like it. Let's keep it that way.
They're doing a lot, and I think we're gonna be well prepared. Thank you for everything you've done for Aquafest. Sounds like we got an incredible spot for our corn.
It's the best spot in town. Seriously, you guys.
Everybody isn't funneled to it. It might be better if we're the first thing they see when they come in.
Is corn?
Yeah.
Oh, we have like 3,000-foot high banners that wave in the air with their corn cobs. Like, we've got all the stuff. Like, you cannot go to downtown during Aquafest and not know that we've got fresh, hot corn on the cob with free butter.
All the little corn decals on the sidewalk.
And all the corn decals, we're gonna have, like, and every year it gets better and better, right? So there's a new food court because we have Festival Street. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen that 80 bazillion yards of new concrete down there that's fresh and white for 10 minutes. There's a gravel area just to the south between the new Festival Street and the church. And so we are right on the corner in that gravel, right across from the post office. So right sidewalk here in front of us on this side and Festival Street on the front. Primo. All the food vendors are gonna be lined up on the gravel because the Aquafest people are worried about stains on the new concrete. So, which is all, you know, because they wanted us to put a tarp down and all this stuff. And it's like, great, we're all going to slip in our free butter. We're going to knock out some of our Rotarians. So thankfully they moved us.
I'm just saying, being on the corner of that area, which it sounds like we are, was
Yeah.
super beneficial.
I know.
When the beer garden closed.
100%, because we're direct, like you just drunk walk down the street to our corn from the beer garden. I know. So yeah, that late shift's going to be busy. Yes. Yes, we do. So this year we are adding in new positions for the corn booth, and they may be the best positions, honestly, because we do have a corn on the cob outfit and butter. Thanks to Lori, who ordered us a butter costume. It's very flattering. It's an amazing outfit for Aquafest. Okay, so moving on, because I want to kind of roll quickly so we can get the most from Marty and all of her awesome stuff. So our next step, we're going to do our board elections. Gary, our secretary, is going to handle that for us this morning.
Last week, we handed out the list of officers and directors for the coming year, 2022-23, to replace
Dictator.
Empress, beautiful lady.
I own it.
What else should I say? Anything?
Amazing realtor.
Okay, amazing realtor.
Sheesh.
Got an amazing son, amazing daughter, amazing husband.
You
What
call
else?
me Cynthia.
And call her Cynthia. Anyway, the officers are President Chris Vallow, Rochelle, sorry,
Out
past
to pasture.
president, out to pasture.
Out to pasture.
President-elect is Don Iverson, Ron Rasmussen, president nominee, Jack Thornton, treasurer, me as secretary, Jim Hagan, club services, Brian Ruiz as community services, Linda Roth, international services, Christian Odegaard, vocational services, and Kyle Strand, membership. Now, the big question, I mean, this is the one that everybody waits for every year. Are there any nominations from the floor? I thought not. So do I have a motion to accept the officers and directors for 2022, 2023?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Lance. Is there a second? And the oldest member was the first one to rise up and say, yay. I mean, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
How do we do a write-in?
Do you have a write-in candidate?
You know how to write. The question is, do you know how to write?
Donald Trump for everything.
Oh, come on.
That makes you pretty popular. Okay, that was fun. Congratulations, everyone, all of our new board members and committee chairs. I'm looking forward to being out to pasture next year while you guys do all the work. Okay, I did skip birthdays announcements just really quickly. So June 10 to 16, Angie coming up on the 14th for her birthday. And you can choose donation, sing, or gauntlet. Pardon?
I'll donate.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Thank you very much. Wedding anniversaries, we have Amy and Brian Liu on June 12th. Join date anniversaries, we have John Spencer coming up on 2 years on the 11th. And we have Cynthia Casey, me, at 3 years on the 12th. Okay, so let's quickly go through our club services. Quickly. Anything today?
Nothing new in club services. I think, Jim, you're taking that over, so do you have any thoughts on that for the future? No.
Way to kick off, Jim. Okay. Awesome. I can say coffee is extra good today. Thank you, Amelia, for making our coffee this morning. Always good. Community service, Brian Ruiz. Do you want to talk about anything like the skate park?
Sure, we got a skate park. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We got a skate park tomorrow at 8:30. We have an issue right now with the sign up, so either email me or just show up at 8:30. It shouldn't take long. What would be really cool is to get as many people show up. Again, it'll really show the community that we're out there. I mean, there literally won't be a lot to do, but this and we'll pick up trash and let the community see us out there. So, normally the earlier times are when parents are out with their younger kids. So again, I think it'll really help out. There's a little bit of graffiti that we do too, but other than that, we'll get the signs going for the farmers market, but right now there's an issue with that. So as soon as that's up and going. But if anybody wants to volunteer for the farmers market, you can just email me. So other than that, that's it.
Thank you very much. And again, I do highly recommend farmers market. That is a fun position. Membership, Ron, do you have anything to add to membership this morning?
Just open to add on to Jim's. Welcome to Kel, our newest member.
Awesome. Scoop you. Thank you. Tracy, anything this morning?
Yes, really quick. Very happy that Marty is here. I'm excited for everybody to hear what's happening with IPA. And I am the outgoing international
Services
chair. And Linda will be the next international committee
Services.
chair, something. Services. Thank you. Next services. So I'm excited for that too.
No, you're not. You're sad.
I'm sad to be leaving, not leaving, but
Yeah.
you know, especially if so Linda has bailed me out on the IPA meetings to go to the board meetings. So now I get to bail her out on the IPA meetings and she'll go to the board meetings. So it's all good
Perfect.
work.
Perfect. Vocational services, Mr. Morehouse, anything?
Did you announce last week the update that I emailed?
Yes.
Anybody?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then scholarship's pretty much complete, just collecting the last little pieces of student information so that we can get the payments processed. And all of your names and birth dates have been submitted for background checks.
That's scary. That's scary. And again, you can run now. We don't have the results back. You can run. You can't hide. But okay. Next up, Jim. Anything with the foundation?
No, it's doing great.
Doing awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. Next up. Okay. Moving. Is that it? Does anyone have anything? Mr. Gary.
Since you only let me do the nominations.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, we have done, we're changing the board meeting from next Thursday to tomorrow after the retreat at Lori's. And we'll try and get through all of that as quickly as we can. Lori said we've got all day, got camping equipment for evening. So it could be a stay over. So let's make
That would be
plans for
fun.
that. Let your families know if you don't show up at night, that you might be at a stayover location. Next Rotarians in Action will be on Tuesday, the 21st. Did we decide, Don, we're still at your place?
I think we're going to monthly now.
Yeah.
One meeting a month.
It would be the 5th.
Okay, we're July 5th then.
Yeah.
And don't forget to purchase your banquet tickets.
Oh, that's right.
June 26th, so that we can
Kick out the
send
dictator.
Empress
Bring
off
in.
into the Twilight Zone.
Okay, and it's gonna be epic, you guys, because we're doing a Viking celebration feast this year. So, I mean, we're talking.
No silverware. No silverware.
Okay, I am doing silverware. Hello, COVID.
If Chief O'Brien comes, you'll have to check out his outfit, I'm sure.
All the food's on the bone.
In a chafing dish. So yes, we will be civilized, but there may be, some fake fur or some big goblets, candelabras,
What's
like.
this civilized stuff?
I know, you guys. I know.
Okay, one other thing, I just got a note from Debbie France that they're having a baby shower tomorrow at her house at 4-ish. Anybody is welcome. One of the babies has come home. Alex came home from the hospital yesterday, and they opened that. Owen will come home from the hospital today.
That's awesome.
Okay, now I'm done.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay, any other announcements or anything before we move on to, we need to do happy bucks and fines. And who would like to be our sergeant of arms thank you for volunteering and standing up.
Okay,
It's so fun. You're gonna love it.
All right, this will be my maiden voyage.
You get to kick the bucket,
Would you
everything.
like to have a bucket somewhere?
Yeah.
Start off by
Well, the other ones are there.
draw tickets,
We brought tickets first.
draw tickets, if they get the winning ticket, then they get the draw job.
All right, hit me with ticket.
Take it.
And if someone's got cash on the table, it's not safe.
I see, 951.
Okay, Lauren, did you win? Or Joyce? It's always Lauren or Joyce. Joyce, did you win? Ruiz, did you win? Did you win?
Nobody won.
951.
951.
Oh, it's gotta be Ron.
951.
You want my glasses? Winner! Nice, congratulations.
All right, draw done.
Unless the winner.
Not a winner.
You are a winner, Ron.
So you get that. Take that back in. Yeah.
How much is our pot up to, Lori?
All right, so what do we do first?
So first you can either do fines or not do fines and just go right into happy bucks, which are so much more happy.
You know, I'm
You're a
retired
happy guy.
cop. I'm done with the fine thing.
So what you're saying is you bring your fine book?
I don't remember the last time I handed out a fine.
Just warnings?
You have people find themselves.
So let's do this. You can either fine yourself or do happy bucks. Who's up? Go ahead.
I'm up. $1 for Marty for being here, $1 for Brian. I'm sorry I'm going out of town tomorrow. I can't go.
You're not sorry.
I'm not sorry for that one. And happy Friday.
All right.
And I'm just happy to be here.
Joyce is always happy. She's great. All right, who else is up?
Happy to be here. Friday, and my grandson graduated.
Oh, perfect.
Woo! Nice.
What's his plan?
Well, we're working on that.
Okay.
We got through high school.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
About college, I wouldn't take some of this.
I've got one of those.
Yeah,
Good.
we're working on that.
Work for the city, like Stevens.
Have him come and work for us.
Yeah.
All right, I'm happy heading out for family reunion annual thing today.
Love it.
Annual?
Yeah.
Every year you guys do it? That's cool.
We're hoping we'll find something.
Will
something
someone,
other than rain.
will someone blow the big horn thing?
Yeah. We can figure out where that is.
Should I go to level one?
Yeah.
Larry, what we got?
So I installed a new dishwasher yesterday, so we canceled the hand washing. And it was minimal injury to myself and spouse.
And did you use correct soap?
We haven't even run it yet.
Well, have Lauren Tower and John.
Yeah, have Lauren. Lauren will give you a class.
We need jet right.
Lauren, okay, I got $10, happy dollar. The other night, I was standing behind my TV to adjust the clock because it had advanced unnecessarily. And I lost my balance. And I fell forward
On the TV?
on the TV. And everything went flat. And so, but fortunately, I was not hurt, but the TV is shot. I have to go buy a new TV today.
Did you do it on purpose?
So what, this time I'm gonna buy one that you mount on the wall.
In front of the clock. So you don't have
What?
Yeah.
No, I can't watch TV on the Tesla. But the Tesla will take me to Costco to buy it.
You can't get a TV in a Tesla.
I'm happy the quack is back, and I'm always happy to come here, and you guys are so generous. But I wasn't warned about this Viking thing when you asked me to install the officers.
Well,
Surprises happen all the time between you and I.
Okay.
Just think of it, just Ducky.
Here's a happy five for our newest member, Raquel, and I did go see Top Gun last night, yesterday afternoon. It was pretty awesome.
So did I.
Yeah.
Last night.
Excellent. All right.
As Lori's sister, I'm happy that Dad is okay. I'm happy that Lori has a car big enough to fit the huge TV we're gonna get today. And I'm happy to be Dad's roommate for a while, so you guys can spend it.
Oh, good, good. That's awesome.
Here's a happy five. Kristen Odegaard is going to be an awesome vocational chair going forward. It's been a pleasure to serve in that role, and I'll help her in any way that I can. I've already made a meeting with her to work on transitions.
So you always been a champion of it, so we appreciate it.
I'm happy that 2 weeks ago I was in Tacoma and the boys track and field won the state championship for the first time in Lake Stevens history.
So awesome.
My first year, I was the Mississippi.
It's you, Chris. It's you.
That was the thing right there.
Like Rotary draws winners.
Yeah.
And I'm also happy it's Friday. Happy for last Wednesday for the whole beer garden and the arts and everything. It was a great day for it. It was super fun and actually headed out of town this weekend to go celebrate.
Fun, fun, fun.
Marcus.
I've got a happy 10 and a sad 10, so here's 20. Happy is Lake Stevens will be having their first pickleball tournament for Aquafest. So that's underway. There'll be a free clinic on Wednesday if you want to just figure it out. There'll be a bunch of coaches up there to help out. And the sad dollar is past member, friend of the club, Randy Story passed.
What?
Brian.
I had a couple bucks. My son was actually involved in a motorcycle accident last night. Walked off the road. Guy took him out, wiped out, and he was able to get up and walk away. So, yeah. Chris.
I'm happy it's Friday. It's gonna be a great board retreat. We've got a lot of great members, a new board. It's gonna be exciting. I need everybody's help and your help and your help and your help and everybody's help. So it'll be fun. So.
Are you qualified?
No.
I'm gonna find myself a buck for becoming treasurer.
Account for that?
That's what the dog.
You're doing audit now.
I'm very happy about it. I've been a part of the graduation committee over at the college, and this is our first in-person graduation ceremony in 3 years. So we have 400 graduates, so it's gonna be really, really fun. I was helping them see their cap and gowns and just to see the excitement on their faces. It's really awesome.
That's a big accomplishment.
Who's left? Who's left? All right, got a couple over here.
Back row. Back row.
Okay, so I've got to remember everything. So, I'm happy that Carrie, it's not Lori's sister, it's Carrie is here. And it's been really helpful. I want to remind everybody that a week from tomorrow is Mom's Memorial. And everybody's invited to come, and if you need the address or anything, I got some little cards here for that. Then on my way here, besides having a flat tire, I had to grade for a black bear. So it was a nice, happy looking bear, and it was like, what are you doing? That was always fun. And I'm sure there was something else I caught up that didn't say something.
Great. So in the words of the office, which bear is best?
The black bear. Oh.
Good morning. Just happy to join you this morning and happy to hear of all the good things you guys are doing on the community. Just happy.
Just happy. I'm gonna throw a couple bucks in.
Hold on. We got two of us.
Oh, shoot.
Jeez, don't leave money on the
I'll
table.
find myself for that.
Like Jim, I went and saw Tom Gunn last night. It was really good. And thanks to everybody that came to and helped out on farmer's market.
I'm happy today's Friday. I get to visit my tasty and media center. Spend some time with almost see you guys.
Yeah, perfect. Good.
Okay, we've got some Zoomers too.
We got people on the Zoom.
Yep, we've got Kendra and John. And then Angie's phone, so she can double down.
Spencer's up there.
John, did you have something?
You're on mute, John.
There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that the Rotary Club has Kristen Odegaard up at the high school with Interact. This year's been a fantastic year for my shy and a bit apprehensive grandson. And over the year, he has blossomed, and we give a lot of credit to Kristen for the work that she's done. So I've got a 10 happy bucks to put in the pot for that. It's been really, really wonderful.
Thanks, Josh.
That's awesome. And she's also our new representative for our YES program for the district, which is another youth engaged in service program. So she's a rock star.
Anybody else on Zoom?
Yeah, I have some happy bucks. So I like, as most of you know, I was supposed to present last week, and I apologize I wasn't there. I got COVID and the symptoms are pretty much gone. So that's my happy bucks, that I did not get a bad bout of COVID. It was pretty just like a cold, and no one else in the family has gotten it. So that's my happy bucks.
That's awesome.
Great. Did I miss anybody? We good? Yeah, finding myself for the lack of execution of happy bucks finding.
And a happy dollar for the new configuration of the farmer's market.
I've got $1 for the new configuration of the farmer's market, and a third $1 because I go to Mexico tomorrow for a week on an actual vacation. All right.
Wow, that's awesome.
Ooh.
That's awesome. Tracy, would you like, okay, so is there anything else before we go to Marty? All right, Tracy, would you like to introduce Marty to everyone? We all know who she is, but.
We all know Marty.
Yeah.
Marty is from the Club of LaConner, and she was one of the first persons I met at the IPA and group when it was in person. And she is a wealth of knowledge of IPA and Honduras. It's just, you're gonna love this presentation.
And IPA is?
International Project Alliance. So it's a group of Rotary clubs in this area. I think we're the farthest south, might be. I think there's an Everett.
You're muted, Marty.
Yes, you may be the furthest south.
But then LaConner, Fidalgo Bay, Bellingham, Anacortes, up in that area. And they just, the amount that they get done, as Linda said, several, after going to the meeting, they make their money multiply. So it's amazing.
It is amazing. Okay, you're up, Marty.
All right,
so our meeting.
Can I share a screen?
Yes.
So thank you. I'm really glad to be here. I was saddened when I saw Dean Francis' name on the list of people who've passed. I was saddened to see that and thought of you guys. All right. Let me know when I'm ready.
You're ready.
Okay.
Sure.
As it's disabled.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
So as Tracy's saying, I am the president of LaConner. I'm also the one that's going to be out to pasture as of July 1st. And I'm the marketing director for the IPA, and it's an honor to be back with you guys. And this time I want to keep the PowerPoint part of it very short, and I want to tell the picture through stories. So that is my goal today. Whoops, what did I do? Don't you love computers? So glad to be here. For those of you who aren't familiar with the IPA, it stands for International Project Alliance, as Tracy was saying. Was founded in 2014 by Peter Martin, who was out of Fidalgo Island with about 4 or 5 other clubs from Skagit County. And together have been doing all kinds of humanitarian projects in the Mayan villages surrounding Copan Ruanas in Honduras. And we focus mostly on education and economic development. So Adopt a School is a program where the kindergarten and elementary schools are sponsored Adopt a Dream is where individual students are sponsored, middle school, high school, and university. Adopt a Village is a combination of those two, where the sponsor supports an elementary school, supports 5 kids going to middle school or high school, and then also if the village itself needs any construction projects. And then the Rapid Development is our economic development program, which I will say a little more about here in a little bit. But first of all, I wanted to thank you. First of all, for being a member of the IPA, your annual pledge, as Tracy says, that we can expand that money and we do all kinds of small and large projects with it. And then also your support of Rio Amarillo. It is one of my favorite little schools. It was a while ago. The village used to be around the school when the government built the school, but for whatever reason, the village moved, which I don't know. And the school is all by itself in this beautiful little pasture, and you have to cross a stream to get to it. And it's just a gorgeous location. So thank you very much. And any of those of you who support middle school and high school kids, we really appreciate your help with that. So at this point, we have 11 member clubs, Island, Skagit, Whatcom, and Snohomish County, and plus the club in Copan-Ruanas. In our Adopt a School program, they split kindergarten and elementary school into 2 different schools. So we're supporting 63 schools in the Adopt a School, and we're supporting 500 students in Adopt a Dream. And you can see the breakdown there of how many of each level. I'm really proud of the fact that we have so many kids in college. 3 years ago, we had none. We do still struggle with Adopt a Dream. We are about 170 students without sponsors. So if any of you would like to help with that, we would really, really appreciate it. We are trying to fill that gap. We do have a general pool. So if there's somebody who doesn't necessarily care about sponsoring a particular student, they just want to contribute. And then we use that money to cover students that don't have sponsors. And also the Adopt a Village. So the Adopt a Village sponsor is committing to 5 students a year. So we're hoping to be able to fill in that gap a bit. At this point, we have 16 villages in the Adopt a Village program. It's been really successful. It's been a little over a year we started it. And we're in about 35 villages, so almost half. It's been very cool. And then the Rapid Development, we started it 4 years ago with 3 villages, and we're waning our support. And we're learning with that, because as we pull out, the momentum gets lost without the support or the contact with Cynthia Santos runs the program, and without a regular contact, the momentum seems to get lost. Some of the businesses have very much stayed successful. We're finding the ones that stay the most successful are the ones that stay within the village, where they're selling their wares to their village and surrounding villages. The ones that are less successful are ones that are reliant on getting products to Copan. And we're trying to figure out ways to solve that problem. And then we have 2 villages who are in about year 3, so we're going to be diminishing our support there. And then we have 6 villages that are nearly completing year 1. And we used a global grant for those 6 villages. The 2 programs that we have found that have been really successful is home gardens. And the villagers choose to participate in this. And first of all, they love it. And then they learn to grow a variety of crops. Josue, who has a degree in agriculture, runs that program for us. And so they get better nutrition by eating different crops. We also provide fruit trees, but different trees, different families, so they can exchange fruit. And then some of the women have made it into small businesses by selling their vegetables. One woman converted her whole garden into a cabbage patch and has made a business of selling cabbage. So home gardens have been very successful. The other aspect that's been really well received is the VSLA, which is Village Savings and Loan Association. And the villagers are really appreciating the education on how to run them well and correctly. And the villagers are appreciating learning to save and to be able to get loans. And so far, nobody's reneged on the loans. And it's just been a very, the villagers have just really appreciated that program. So this year, what's new of this year, Peter Martin was awarded the Service Above Self by RI. They offer that to no more than 150 people worldwide because of his founding and his work with the IPA. I just think this is awesome for two reasons, one of which is for Peter himself. I think he so deserves it. But secondly, it gets some form of acknowledgement from RI about what we're doing. I think the IPA is pretty unique in the number of clubs that are working together and the sustained length of the project. And I think it's a good model for other Rotary clubs if they choose to do something similar. So I'm really glad that RI at least now knows that IPA is on the map. So we did start an endowment fund. We did get the global grant to add the 6 villages to the rapid development program. And then normally our trips have been, Peter goes down 4 times a year, and those 4 trips he visits every school. So you're going to 3 to 5 schools a day. In February, it's a group trip where we bring all the school supplies, uniforms, teacher supplies, all that kind of stuff. And then in November is also a group trip where we go back, get the final statistics from the teachers, pick up the mobile library books and things like that. And then Walt Gutterbrock runs the construction. He's in Fidalgo, and he goes down once a year to oversee all the construction projects with our paid contractor in country. We added a trip. My original intent was for it to be kind of a vacation. Like I was thinking maybe there's people who want to go but don't really want to run around all day, or they want to bring their spouse or a friend or something. So let's make it more of an introduction to the IPA and a more of a tourist trip. It turned into an Adopt a Village trip where we spent the entire day in one village, and the village was chosen by whoever was on the trip. So if a sponsor of a village was there, we went to their village, and it was really successful. And so most of my pictures that I'm going to show you are based on that trip. And then in that, along with us was a member of Anacortes Noon's son is a professional videographer and does pro bono work once a year. And they chose us, and they are going to do 2 videos. They have completed one, and those of you who were at district saw it. And we're getting the other one in process. So that will really help us on the website and marketing, etc. So we're really pleased. So, but here's the story in, let's see, there we go. So one of the advantages to this, so all of these pictures in this pictures show are from this trip in March. And one of the advantages was we had the time. We didn't have to worry about keeping a schedule. And so we could wander the village, which I've always wanted to do, wander the villages, get to see some of the homes. I've never done it myself before because it feels intrusive. But we had that privilege. And honestly, they did tend to show us the poorest homes in the villages. But this is a typical bedroom. And actually, a lot of times the beds are not off the ground. So we were able to get into the homes. This is a very typical home with the tin roof, the adobe walls. This floor looks a little elevated, so I bet it's got a cement floor, but they're often dirt. It's not uncommon at all to see charred areas around the stove vent, the roof, or the walls. This is a typical stove. They burn with wood. And this is a very typical scene. It gives you a sense of the terrain too, but this house tucked down in the hills. And one advantage that this was in La Laguna, and we just spent about 45 minutes in this villager's house just chit-chatting. And Rosemary is from Fidalgo and is a bird watcher. And so she had binoculars. And of course the kids were curious. So it was an example of an opportunity for us to really interact. And it was her moment. So this is Josue right here. He is the man that runs the agricultural program, and they were just starting the home garden. So his first lesson was about the components of good soil, how much of sand, rock, and plant matter. And then the villagers were turning over this spot for this home. And then how it works is the next lesson, whichever that might be, plant seeds, will be done at another villager's home. And the next lesson will be done at a third villager's home. And they all, they all help each other out at each house. And so we were in this village for 6 hours. And by the time we left, there were 4 or 5 home gardens prepared, terraced, and ready to go. It was pretty cool.
Arriba de mí lo tiene picada, ya me tiene verde. Así que ahí está. Tienen que venir a trabajar.
I included this one just because I thought it was funny. Senior citizens hacking at dirt. So this woman is a 66-year-old. We were there for a couple of hours and she worked for 2 hours. This is Karen Ryan from La Conner. She maybe took a couple swacks. It's actually really hard work. And then one micro business we're finding is really been successful is pigs. This particular farmer breeds the pigs and then sells them to another person to fatten them. And then that person sells them to whoever's going to consume them. But that has been one very successful micro business. This is a savings and loan. These are the officers getting ready to start the meeting. These are the buckets that the people put in their either their savings or loan payments. And so they're about ready to get the meeting started. This particular village, the kids are learning to save. They have their passbooks, and where they're getting the money, I honestly don't know. But I think it's very cool that the kids are also learning to save. That's excellent. So our agreement with the village is that we provide the materials, they do the labor. So this is in the village of La Laguna. They're replacing the floor in the middle school. This is in the village of Ingenios, and so we were walking to about 15 homes that are 2.5 kilometers away from the main part of the village, and this was the trail to get to those homes. In the muddy season, it's quite difficult. We are putting in a direct line is a lot shorter. We're putting in 1.5 kilometers water pipe to provide water to those 15 homes. And then sometimes getting there is difficult, and mud is a real problem. In this one village, LDN, 1/4 or 3/4 of the time we can't get there. And our drivers that day, Mauricio and Harrison, were determined. I think normally they would have quit, but this day they were determined. See, it doesn't always get there. It just gets stuck.
Yeah. That felt good.
Cracked me up. Her husband's giving her a hard time and then goes and helps her. That one just amused me. And then this is what it took to get the trucks to the village. If you want to bond with villagers, hey, pulling a truck out of the mud, what better way to do it? Anyway, and then you always have to run into a cow at least once in the week you're there. And you just have to wait for feeding time to be over. And then this is a typical, what often the buses look like. We were just going a short distance in the village, but often these cattle trucks are filled with like 20 people, and that is their city bus. This is an example of a mobile library. And then Casita Copan is an orphanage in Copan and also a daycare for single mothers. And we often, it's one of those pop in and leave. And we got to spend 3 or 4 hours with them, which was incredible. And this is some of the older orphans, and they're teaching them business skills and business management skills, and also some business skills, so that they have something that they can earn, they can promote themselves once they finish high school. Here they were teaching us how to make baleadas. That's just plain cuteness. And then usually when we go, the villagers out of appreciation often feed us, and we usually eat in a room in a school and not among the villagers, which is fine because it's embarrassing. You know, here we are eating their food anyway, and they're not getting it. But on this trip, Cynthia organized it for me, and I said, hey, I will pay the villagers to prepare meals, and we want to eat together. So here we are eating with the middle school kids in El Naran Hall. And then the elementary schools kids always had a program, and dancing was always involved. And again, it was just great chance to bond. And one of the middle school kids group put together a contest, and this was the prize. I thought this was an adorable corn doll. Corn dolls are often sold as a souvenir, but this one was just particularly cute. Here we are meeting with the village leaders of El Cisne. We met with every village just to hear their concerns, what we could help them with, what problems there might be. Almost every single one wanted to discuss home improvements. Unfortunately, that is difficult for us. One, it's extremely expensive, but also how do you pick which home? And how do you be fair in that process? And so that is easier said than done. We did meet with the Rotary Club a couple of times. Just a welcome sign. Cute puppy and kid. Gorgeous horses. Enticing you guys to go, one of you to go. Eye-to-eye contact with Rob Martin. I don't know if you guys know Rob Martin, but that's a perfect person to have eye-to-eye contact with. And then in Hinios, the middle school kids did all these paintings you can see below, but this was one that they had done that I, of course, particularly liked. Beautiful flower. And then every middle school would do some form of a traditional dance. And this particular middle school, the kids were really good at it. And this is the traditional dress. The cool thing about that was the guys really knew how to dance. Often they just kind of look lost and floundering. Grandpa and grandson, I just love the picture. And then of course another cute horse. And then I love this one too. The dog is falling asleep against the wall waiting for his master. Oh man. And then a beautiful village of El LDN. Dinner. And then just some faces. And that's her kitty. Oftentimes pets, I mean, and this trip, animals were being treated well. That's often not the case, but, and then I just think the faces were gorgeous. And then this gentleman, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the tarot deck, but the Fool, the tarot deck is a very positive card. And this gentleman always struck me as the village fool. And I've never spoken with him. He always is on the outskirts. And maybe next time I go, I will talk to him. I'm just always glad to see that he's still there. He just, I don't know, there's just something about him that makes me smile. The red macaw is the national bird of Honduras. These were done by a Mayan carver, and just some cool icons in Copan. And then we often do an agricultural tour with Carlos at a coffee plantation, and they have their own processing plant, but they also have other crops. Excuse me. And here he's opened up a cacao pod and showing us the beans from which chocolate eventually comes. And it also includes horseback riding, and these horses were fabulous, and beautiful scenery. And he deliberately drove us into this bush. I think he knew there were no big branches, but it was very deliberate. And then we went on a bird watching tour and came upon a ruin that's not open to the public, that had been built on a fault, so it had caved in. And this replica, the white stones are replica stones, and the non-white stones are the originals. It's just beautiful. And then this picture I included more because of the view. The videographers had drones, and I don't know if you've ever had a drone in your face taking a picture, but it's quite unnerving actually. But anyway, the beautiful scenery. in the countryside. In Copan, there is a castle where you can climb the tower and get a beautiful sunset like this one. And just a pretty set of stairs. They used to be just rustic stairs, but somebody painted them. And then Macaw Mountain is a bird preserve founded by Lloyd here. He is an expat. And I had contacted him and asked him to just give the group a quick talk. Well, he ended up giving us a 2-hour tour. And it is rescues injured birds, trafficked birds, and then they've been really working on a release program for the red macaws. And every time I go, this was my 8th trip, every time I go, there's more and more red macaws free, which is, so it's really working. It's a beautiful blue macaw. And then this was at the ruins. The ruins are the highlight as far as tourism goes. And there's a big tree up here that's 300 to 400 years old. And the guy was like, you know, this man is wise. He's got wrinkled face and no teeth, and he's with the old tree. So I just love that line. This sign is self-explanatory. And thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
So I have a question back here.
Yes.
In the corner. So I raise chickens and I'm not seeing any chickens in the village. Is there?
Oh, there are a lot of chickens.
Okay.
I have taken so many pictures of the cute little baby chicks. I didn't do any on this trip. No, they raise chickens very much. That's their main staple as far as meat goes. Absolutely. There's lots of chickens. They're very rarely in a coop. They're usually free.
Yeah. The terraced gardens, do they have to build rock retaining walls like the Mayans did so the terraces don't wash away?
You know, they don't.
Really?
Maybe it's not quite that steep, so they don't have to. But no, they haven't. So that's a good question. They don't seem to collapse either, so I don't know how they do that.
I think the heavy rains have start to wash the terraces down the hill.
You would think. Yeah, that's a very good question. I honestly don't know the answer to that one.
How's the language barrier there?
We always have translators, number one. And then usually there's members in our group that are fluent in Spanish. The villagers, of course, speak very little English. So we mostly through translators.
When's the next trip?
Where are we in the year? So the next group trip is in November. And that will be the end of the school year. And then taking school supplies down will be in February. And we are going to run this trip again. I just need to figure out what time of year. I didn't do it at the best time of year. So I don't know yet when we're going to do this same trip where we'll spend an entire day in one village. I don't know when that's going to be yet.
Do the heavy rains come in the summer?
I'm sorry.
Do the heavy rains come in the summer?
So here's my, yes, the heavy rains tend to be over the winter. Oh, that's, but honestly, I've been there in, and they keep talking about the monsoon season, but I've been there in November, March, February, and June. And to me, the weather is the same every time. So I'm not, but we were just at the tail end of the rainy season, which was why all that mud.
How long are the trips?
There, you can stay up to 2 weeks. We suggest you say a minimum of a week. So to get down, so the trips, I strongly encourage a member of your club to go. It's one thing for me to tell you and show pictures and say it's an awesome thing, and to actually go, it's a different story. So the airfare used to be 1,000 to 1,400. Airfares have gone up, but staying there is pretty inexpensive. The hotel is $50 a night, and other expenses, you might spend less than 1,000 while you're there. So it's a relatively inexpensive trip. Any other questions? How about the IPA itself? Tracy, anything I'm leaving out as far as info that you can think of?
Yeah.
Or Kristen or Linda? Yeah.
talk a little bit more about Adopt a Student, the Adopt a Dream program?
Sure. So the Adopt a Dream is for middle school, high school, and college kids, and it's a one-on-one relationship with the students. And we are trying to get like many of them have cell phones. Cell phones are incredibly cheap, like WhatsApp, so that you could actually communicate with the student. And we do ask them to write letters. Honestly, we maybe get a third of the letters. And so a middle school child costs $180 a year, and a high school kid $280. In the college, it varies on the student and where they're going. So we would love some help there. I know some of you already do support students, but we'd love to have some more, or if you have some other ideas how to fill in that gap. Any other questions?
Then Rio Amarillo is our village that we have adopted.
The school, yes.
Cool, yeah. So have we paid that this year?
No, that will go out in August.
Okay.
August and September.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to back up to the Adopt a Dream, it's a 3-year commitment.
Yes, yes.
180, yeah.
Yeah, and the idea behind that is if you adopt a 7th grader, that you're helping that student get through 9th grade.
Yeah.
So that's why the 3-year commitment. And the same thing with high school, to get them through 10th, 11th, and 12th grade.
Anyone else? And I do recommend it. It's, they have a whole variety of students, and they're all bright, shiny faces in a uniform. So, I mean, I love looking at all the photos, and it's easy to pay. You used to have to actually get a stamp and an envelope and mail it. Now there's an online option, so it's super easy. So I was always late, I think. But now there's an online option. You just zoom your money off, and $180, and really, that with what we spend money on, I mean, Jim's smart.
It's incredibly cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the impact that we all make as a group is amazing. So I highly recommend.
Now you had asked me at district how you guys could be more involved. One is someone to go, or a couple of you to go. It makes a big difference. And then also, if you chose to, you could adopt Rio Amarillo, the village. And the difference being, so right now you're supporting the elementary school, but you would be supporting any middle school kids from there. And then also if the village itself has any construction projects. So what that would run, I somewhere in my files, I have an exact number, but it probably would be, that's a very small village, probably in the $2,000 to $2,500 range per year. So that you would ask that question of me at district. So
I did, because we really do want to get into an international project. And with our new chair, we've talked about some other things, but of course IPA would be our first choice, because I love the strength of numbers and power of all the clubs coming together. So if we sponsor a village for $2,500, are there other clubs that also sponsor that village? So then you'll have 5,000 or more to go towards the projects. And then is there?
So how the projects work? So you would be fully covering the elementary school, and then also 5 students in middle school kids. And if you wanted to do more, if there were more students and you wanted to do more, you may. And then construction, we ask for $1,000 commitment towards a construction project, if there are any. There aren't always. If it's more than that, you could either choose to put in more, or IPA will make up the difference. So, but you would be the only sponsor of that village. And the idea behind it is to establish a relationship with that village.
And then we can use our club to do matching grants also partnering with IPA, or just
district grants.
District grants, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, when we apply for district grants, we at the IPA as itself cannot do so. So we ask our member clubs who can to do so, but the IPA often puts in the matching funds, and there are some clubs that put in their own instead. Is that what you're asking? So we can leverage district grants to get projects done. Yes.
Hey Marty, for example, Rio Amarillo is, what would be a top infrastructure project that village would need?
I would have to go back to Walt to know that. He did visit a lot of places, and he communicates with our contractor in country. So there may or may, I don't know if there are any specific for Rio Amarillo. I would need to go look. So I don't know that off the top of my head.
What are some examples of projects you've completed in the past?
So a lot of them are rebuilding, like the middle school there, putting in the floor. We put in a footbridge for Rio Amarillo. The kids had to cross a stream, which was fine, except for in the monsoon season. Then they were up to wading up to water up to their waists. So we put in a footbridge there, for example. We did that a couple years ago. What were some other construction projects for villages? We have repaired roads. We've done a lot of water projects. We've done some silo projects. We're in the process of working on some latrine projects.
I remember you talking about them getting a well digger, a hand well digger, and getting their own water when I was on one of the calls.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. You have a better memory than I do.
There was a video of the guys, you know, pushing the well digger around and
Ah. Oh, yeah. When we were laying pipe in El Zapote, I believe. Yeah, maybe. But yes, a lot of the work is done by hand.
that was interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Like an assessment team that goes around the villages and they put together construction projects and things like that that are potentially needed.
Yes, it works two ways. So one, the villagers come to us, and Mauricio is the in-country contractor. And if we hear about a project, we ask him to go see if it's feasible, run a budget, and see if it's something we can do. And then also Walt goes down for a couple of weeks once a year and checks out everything that we visits the construction projects in process and checks out whatever we're doing, whatever we could potentially be doing. So yes to both. It comes both ways.
Is there certain building codes?
I'm sorry, you got me burst out laughing. Building codes? No, the answer to that is no. There are no building codes, which is sometimes quite scary, honestly. Watch some of the electricians and they go, oh boy, I don't want to see that. Any other questions?
Anyone?
Well, thank you for your interest.
How far, okay, so if we do send a member or members, how far is it from the beach?
You have to do a separate trip. I keep thinking I ought to add a trip to Roatan, which is the islands north, that it's supposed to be a great tourist spot, but a little bit retro. So it's a ways from the beach.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much. We always love it when you come and present. And we have our board retreat tomorrow, so we'll talk about it, honestly.
Okay.
And you, at least one or more, or maybe we'll send Public Works down there.
There you go. As long as he's not too worried about codes. As long as he's not too worried about codes, we're good.
I can read your mind, so I totally called it. Yes. Thank you, Marty. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend. And keep, that's a really sad announcement about Randy. Randy's a former member of our club and chief of police in town. So please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers, because that is very sad news. So, but have a great weekend and we'll see you next Friday.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you.
Oh, you can go buy a TV.